been playing that in my car to watch the shows, and it sounds really good.
Yeah.
On the woofers. Yeah. So how we doing? Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Kendall, you can hear us, yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we got Kendall is obviously busy working. We appreciate that he made it in here to chat with us. He is coming live from the truck. So
That's right.
That is what we got.
See?
We got Faith,
Look at that.
my daughter, Steve's daughter. We're kind of gonna continue our conversation from last week a little bit and brought the woman's perspective to the table.
The young generation.
And yeah, the younger, she's 20 or so years less than most of us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a young. Y'all are old.
yeah, we are.
Easy.
We are getting
Gray
there.
hairs.
So just kind of
I forgot the black
Just for men.
yeah, the just for men. I forgot it. Beijing.
so kind of what I want to start with here is we talked about raising men and kind of got into the man and the bear conversation on, if we had to put our loved ones in the woods, would it be with the man or the bear, or if it was the man that we of the caliber that we raised, how do we feel about that? And we brought Faith to this to kind of give her woman's view on whether she would rather be in the woods with the man or the bear. So we're gonna revisit that. We got Steve, we got Rich. We're just starting the whiskeys and let's see what we can get going here. So I want to open this with Faith, the man or the bear.
I choose the bear.
So why is that, Faith?
I don't know. I'd rather get mauled by a bear than anything.
So the question would be now, because obviously, as we was talking about, it's a random guy.
Mhm.
Now, don't know him. Maybe you do know him. You're still gonna take that risk with the bear.
Well, you never know. A man could use me as a human shield just to save himself.
You ain't lying.
I mean, anybody would.
That is true.
I was more worried about what a man would do.
For sure, that's what's up.
Well,
That's-
that too, for
Yeah.
sure. But I'm just saying, I'd rather choose the bear.
Now, do you have any? Has Pops ever taught you any like life skills to maybe fend yourself off of the bear?
No.
So you just gonna wing it
Yep.
and take your chances anyways?
Yep.
Hey, I ain't mad at that. That's truth, right? Right, Steve? Fuck your feelings, right?
Fuck your face.
See, there we go.
Now,
Interesting.
looking at, my dad was like the biggest cat caller and like womanizer type of dude. And I am going to say that I was, seeing him, that was what we did, right? That's what you kind of have been indoctrinated to think was just okay. That's what you did. And, I'm kind of at the point in my life where I realized we were fucking dogs, dude. Like, there's a lot of stuff we're not going to talk about like here, but like, people that were running trains and crazy shit like that, used to hear about it. And I'm like, I don't want no part of that in my fucking life. You know what I mean? Tell me you ain't never been to a party with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I plead the fifth.
But like, whoa, why is it cool?
Well, how did we end up on this conversation from talking about
Same
bears?
thing. Just the rapey culture, men being fucking rapey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Raising the men that isn't going to be that.
Yeah, but hasn't that always been a thing?
It has, but
It's just
But-
now more talked about than it
Well,
was.
correct.
But nowadays, I feel like, as everybody knows, there's less. I don't feel like the man's in the house all the time. The kid's not being raised properly. If the man's not there, how does the man know how to act?
Yeah,
You
that is a valid point. We kind of were discussing, raising young men and the effect that not having the man in the house and sometimes not having the woman in the house really has on these kids. But I remember how I was raised, and really looking at it now, it was not cool.
You were raised to be a predator, is that what you said?
I mean, kind of. I'm looking at things like, yeah. I mean, just because she's wearing the dress doesn't mean she's trying to let you come fucking take her in the alley. You know what I mean? And that's what this is coming to. How many? Because you dress a certain way. I'm not pro. Let's get naked and walk through the streets. Like, I think a woman should dress modestly, but like, I'm also not going to say that how they should dress. I'm not them. I don't want you telling me how to dress. So do what you do, but keep yourself safe. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
but we need the talk needs to be had. Why it's not cool.
and this is what's crazy is that here it is. We have a female from the younger generation, raised by a man. You know what I'm saying? Still prefers to take her chances with a bear. That's why this topic is, it's one of those, it's a lot about opinion because she's raised by a man, a good man.
Well, and I stated last week, I don't, there's sometimes men I'm not going to put my kids in the woods with.
Absolutely.
They're
better off with the bear.
That goes back to what the fuck is wrong with men, bro. Like, look, I never walked around feeling rapey. You know what I'm saying? But like, I have those friends that I'm like, damn, bro, you could maybe have chilled out a little bit on that. Like,
on what they wear? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, why as men are we looking at them as a sexual item only?
As a statistic. I don't. Let's ask Faith because I know my daughters are around your age as well.
Mm-hmm.
They actually would, what I'm saying, they don't tolerate that. They look out for each other, what I'm saying? They keep their eyes open for, what I'm saying, something that looks suspicious to where, you know what, he's not acting right. You know what I'm saying? Are you that type of person?
Yeah.
And if you with your friends, your homegirls, you guys are out kind of just hanging out, whatever, dude.
Oh, I'm aware of my surroundings for sure.
There we go. You know what I'm saying?
If I don't feel
it just
comfortable, I'll tell
baffles me
somebody.
because obviously that was some good life skills that was taught to her. But yet she chooses to be with that bear.
Well, bro, they shouldn't have to have these special groups of their friends looking out for their drinks and shit.
But that's been going on for a long time.
I understand it's been going on for a long time, but why? Like, what have we been trained, and why are we continuing this?
Well,
you got to
go
of just the clothing. I know for my three daughters, we really looked at how or what they would wear, and when all they can purchase nowadays is crop tops and short skirts, and that's all that's out there. It's kind of what society has kind of given and pointed to them. Now, my daughters, until they got into high school, like the showing of stomach and all that, we just wanted them to respect themselves first. And I think as a father, when you can teach your daughter to respect herself first, the rest will fall in line. But if they can't respect themselves and how they look and how they present themselves, then it just sucks, because then it gets men to think that there's an opportunity that isn't really there.
So you think that opportunity is there because of the way the woman dresses? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying the opportunity is there. It just gets guys to think the opportunity is there, because sometimes that's all they can wear, because that's all they sell out nowadays. I mean, I have one daughter that is like the 0 or 2 size, right? The real skinny. And every clothing is for that style is like something has to be shown in a certain way.
Little provocative type.
Well, I would like to plug myself and DJ K-Dub here. I don't sell crop tops on my merch store.
Well, I don't either. But even as a father, it takes a while before you realize, okay, they're to the age where they respect themselves. They know what's right and wrong. now did you teach them enough to protect themselves when it does come to that stuff?
Right. So tell me this. I mean, obviously, I've never seen you wear anything,
I'm a
revealing.
tomboy.
Right.
I wear large shirts and everything. And everything's baggy.
A lot of girls do that though. There are a lot of girls who do it, and that's just because today's age, the fashion is kind of like
Nothing.
free fall.
Yeah.
But you,
Whatever you want to wear bright orange sneakers with, what I'm saying, a bright green shirt and bright purple pants. Check it out.
It's a trend.
It's a trend. It looks good.
Yeah.
I know the last time I went to New York, I thought I was seeing some kind of rainbow or something. You know what I'm saying? Like people, these young generations, they dress like that. But the provocativeness is like, yeah, that's why is because they see that on what TV.
Well, most younger girls were like 14, like 20 nowadays.
Oh yeah, but that was like that back in the
that
day.
was always like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I look 12.
you do look young.
You do look
Growing up back home, back in the Bronx, 12 years old, you had to ask for ID because it was just like it was something that they thought that they could do, and it's like, no, you're too young. You shouldn't be doing all that.
Put yourself out there.
Exactly, But that's, Kendall, as you were saying, it's what they see. This is what is being advertised on the TVs and the music videos and
TikTok,
your
YouTube.
biggest celebrities, TikTok. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
I've never understood the small clothing thing. As a big guy, I even having my shirt not long enough and like a little bit of my front belly peeking out, I am uncomfortable in like tugging
Of
on my
course,
shirt.
you're uncomfortable.
So
Nobody wants to see your fucking belly.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, my wife gets pissed all the time because I wear layers, but I like to stay covered up. I'm like Matt. I'm a big guy, and the last thing I need anybody to check out is I got to have my belly. I don't know how some people don't feel the draft in the back. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Bro, I always wear wife beaters just to keep my titties calm.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They get a little wild.
Oh, he said he wears a sports bra. This guy.
That's the guy's version of sports bra. That's the guy's version.
Whatever.
I can't say, hey, I'm staying out of this, man. I'll be hitting the gym 24/7. Fail. I'm trying to think I'm a
Dude,
old
you
ass
can
bodybuilder.
hit the gym 24/7. You still wearing no crop top. You don't wear nothing. If you have the opportunity to go shirt off,
I'm trying to have the best. Yeah.
And I'm the one.
that's why Rich can't be a part of the Bowen
Look
team.
how you took me out right there, Faith.
With shirt
I was
off.
gonna say something, lead myself into a brick wall.
What were you saying, Kendall?
I said that's why Rich can't be a part of the Bowen team because he'd be out here trying to be working with shirts off, and we're all shirts on out here. This ain't roofing.
Oh, we go. Oh, shit. And then you talking about mowing lawns and shit. That's like the second best thing.
Well, that's okay.
Roofing and mowing lawns.
Hey, I'm not talking about a bad thing in roofing. You just say you don't roofing, so I'm making sure that everybody knows you roofing.
I don't.
I ain't bagging on roofing, dog. A job's a job, man. You staying busy, you making money for your family. I don't care what it is.
That's what.
Hey, man, change the subject, bro.
So yes, I wanted to address y'all guys. We need to figure out what we're raising as men to curb this rapiness, this shitty.
So-
the shitty men.
If I got one thing off of just because, I watched the last episode, I kind of, there's some tendencies that I say that I could have done better with my son. Obviously, I've had where society has questioned when he tried to race me one time to go open my wife's door, because that's my thing that I do all the time. And he has that respect for women. And this lady was like, I can't believe you had your son open your door. No, it's the respect that he learned through what he's seen from his dad. But sometimes I wish I would have somehow taught him the dog side of it. Like when you go into competition at football or whatever sport you play, as Steve said last show, you don't give a fuck about anybody because they don't care about you. And I've told him, but I couldn't find the right way to get him to understand that, yeah, we could be men that are very, loving to the woman, but how do you get that? Sometimes it's it's hard to distinguish the difference between that dog and that asshole and being a person that loves the woman.
Yeah,
you know, and I've done the woman loving part, as I'm about to go on 25 years this July with my wife. I've
Man,
been
God
blessed.
bless. Congrats, brother.
It for sure is more her than, I don't have to lie. It's more for sure her than it is me. Like, I mean, she has changed me more than I've changed her. But in front of my son, and I think you guys talked a little bit about it, but my son being born, which is my fourth of my kids, my last one, changed me. Having a man that I have to show how to be a man really set the tone, and obviously anybody can look back of when I changed life, like, and when I really thought of, okay, is this going to benefit my family, or is this just something to fuck around with? And when it stopped benefiting my family, I just, I miss and love the stereos. I loved everything we did, but I gave up important time for my daughters. And of course, they don't remember it. The only ones that do is me and my wife, and I never let it go. Like, car club was more important than family. Building speakers boxes were more important than family. Like, the guy who I am today, where family's important, is not who I was back in like 2006, 2008, man. But my son being born flipped it.
Sometimes it takes that big moment to change things. For you, it was your son. For me, it was my back surgery and having the time at home with the kids and like seeing how overwhelmed my wife was and trying to literally do everything. And I saw what they were lacking, what they were missing as far as me not being there. And that's honestly, man, what really changed everything for me. It was, I had to focus on my family and not necessarily just chase the paycheck, but I had to do right by them because I had literally been doing wrong this whole time, just not being there and not having the time and making the paycheck more of a priority than family. And that is something that I would have changed way sooner had I known. But it took me, back surgery and 6 weeks on the couch to say, holy shit.
To realize that, everything your wife was doing by herself, to realize, everything that it involves. My biggest thing, I learned that chasing the bag was not as important as spending time with the kids. Up until I got divorced, I was constantly chasing the bag. It was nothing but the bag, a little bit of family time, a little bit of this, but always on that rat race.
How can you make another dollar? How can I gotta go, yeah.
Yep. And after that divorce, I realized that I'm sitting at home. What am I doing this all for? The kids had, she had moved out to Chicago. I'm sitting at home alone. All of a sudden, I got nothing. That's when it all clicked.
Yeah, and that conversation gets brought up every couple of months.
With you and I?
But just as kids in general.
Well, in general, yeah. I mean, you know that you guys all know that,
You said you would rather.
I would have rather made $35,000 a year and spent most of the time with you guys than to be chasing the bag. But I also owed it to you guys as a man.
Yeah.
I owed it to you guys to provide the best life that I could for you.
Right.
So chasing the bag at the time, you were still putting them first. Well,
no, I think I was putting them.
What am I looking for? The best interest at heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Their best interest was getting that bag, but you was chasing the bag, even though that's what you're saying.
Right.
You was doing it to provide for them, right?
Yeah, but
But you wasn't physically there, emotionally there.
Right.
You was detached.
Right.
Got you.
I mean, and we have all been distracted chasing
I'm
the
super
money.
guilty.
And I mean, it has changed my whole perspective on things, not chasing the money. I mean, it's been taking some work to get the boys like in back where they need to be. But at this point, they get up every morning and they make their beds before they come downstairs.
That's awesome.
And Diesel and I, every morning, let's go for the walk. We didn't go today because I needed to be in early to get things set up. Rob was sick, and
I love seeing you post. I love seeing you post with your kids, man.
Yeah,
that's
to me that's.
It's
And
beautiful.
if you guys don't know, remember, subscribe, 510 Productions. I'm telling you, you can catch this stuff. It's posted on there, man. This is some inspirational stuff, man. The man is raising men. Best believe what we're talking about today is a prime example of what he's doing.
Well, I mean, and it's trying, and really this sitting here and talking to you guys and hearing what you got, and you know how you feel is the child of what he got. You know,
Yeah.
it's all helping me at the same time. And I could see at the end of last week's conversation, you know, some of what we was saying maybe was making some penetration through your thick ass head. You know what I mean? But like,
Fuck your
Stubborn.
feelings.
look, I Rich brought it best. Iron sharpens iron. We're all men raising men, and trying to put out the best product that we can for the world. You know what I mean? And trying to prepare them for the ugliness and the shittiness that the world really is.
Yeah.
But also trying to have them not be that ugly, shitty example of life. You know what I mean?
Follow the people that are already doing it.
You know, and kids are quick to jump on the train, TikToks and things like that, and just to look like an asshole. You know, remember a couple months ago, bro, they'd line up 8 kids and run into a fence at the same time and knock out like a whole section of somebody's fence.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do actually remember that.
Like they were calling it the Kool-Aid Man Challenge or something like that. And like, bro, like, y'all are dumb.
Yeah,
You
this
get
day
caught
and age,
wiping out $1,000 fence, and then y'all are like, there's cameras everywhere. You can't get away with nothing these days.
and
See, and
this
I
day
don't
and
know
age,
if this is
you
right,
can
wrong,
test
or
this.
indifferent when it came to social media, but one thing we live by is our kids didn't get social media until they graduated, just because with having 3 daughters that started out, suicide rate is really high with females in high school because they see things that other people gloat about. But if you don't realize that social media 90% of the time is just the best part of their day or whatever, and not seeing the struggles that they have to go through to get there. So that was one thing we did. But if you have a kid in a sport, Twitter, they have to get it early, because if not, if that's how a lot of coaches see their stuff. But what they have to realize is every post they do does not get deleted. It won't get deleted even when you delete it. Someone has seen it, and that could either make or break your future job, your future, if you want to go into a college. The difference between an athlete that is, I always say, and it doesn't have to be an athlete, but even a student, the difference between a student could be one simple post. And I think that's what's hard, is because we all have our right to talk and our rights for our thoughts, but advertising them sometimes could affect you in the future. You know, and it sucks because everybody's like, well, you have the right to speech. You do. But that doesn't mean that the job that you're looking to go get has to respect and have the same right to that speech.
For sure. Social media can definitely get you in trouble, and it can go downhill quick, and people will sandbag the hell out of you.
Yeah, something you said 10 years ago coming up and biting you.
Happens all the time.
It's crazy. So we were talking about that last week also, and I appreciate your input there, because I struggle with Gage. He actually hit me with the Snapchat question a night or two ago, and I was a little fired up because his room like never is clean, but the little kids are clean, so I snap back a little bit, and you know, the response wasn't that great, and I felt bad about it later. But like, bro, you gotta like if you can show me you're responsible enough, then I'll consider it. But like, it's back to I don't want, you know, half of the country sending my young child titty pics or Kermit the Frog. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
You watched it too.
I am not trying to expose him to that. And I like the graduated from high school. I like that thought. I mean, because I don't. He's a good kid, and he's going to the good school, and the world is ugly, man.
Well, let me tell you this. When we pulled up to college visitation and we were talking to my daughter about finding their roommate, they said, well, the good thing is you can look them up on social media.
Would have never even thought about that.
I said, but the bad thing is well, the good thing is for Kylie is she didn't have it, so that means that she can have a story she can tell. She could be her own person. They can't judge her off of something she posted from the from the past. So it would, but that's what they're telling kids when you go to do your college visitation, and they're like, you're trying to find a roommate. You can look them up on all social media. And that's what I kind of told Kylie is I said, you're lucky because you get to tell a story. You don't get someone to prejudge their story about you.
There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, that is nice. I actually may try to put that into my life here as far as Gage, because I don't want that outside exposure. And
do you know how his mother feels about social media?
She's on a similar page, and I pay the phone bill, dude.
You pay her phone bill still?
His.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, sir.
Okay. I just didn't. No, I just didn't.
Pays her own
Yes,
bill.
yeah, I get
or
it.
somebody
Don't start some shit.
But I
So sorry.
I pay.
That's not what I was trying to
Anymore.
That's the only thing that came to my mind, bro.
I do pay Gage's bill.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and I do go through his phone and I check histories and things like that, because I have seen things on there. I'm like, bro, chill out. You'll pull it off. Like. So I have tried monitoring that as much as I can. The social media, if social media has hit his phone, I will take the phone. I will shut it off. I will.
It's all about, when it comes to that, it's still all about communication with the co-parent, whether you're there, whether you're not.
Well, and here's the funny thing. Kylie seriously made a Facebook when she was like, when she could answer the 13-year-old question. This was when we first were thinking about it. And we're like, she can answer the question, right? She's 13. But she did it without us knowing, and then invited us to be her friends. And then that's when we came to the decision that, they don't need it. Because you already went and just made it. And then, like, you're just inviting up, because I hate to say it, but sometimes a lot of people have my daughter's boyfriend has an account that's not his, but it's his name because someone made a false account. And it looks like him, and everything on it is him, but it's not him. And so it's like getting into those situations. And so that's why, it sucks that you have to use social media in the aspect, that's why Katie, my wife, my son just graduated Saturday, the last 4 are 4. All my kids are out, a new life, a new page.
Congratulations, bro. You got some good kids, man. Congratulations.
They were little itty bitties.
In the moment, I don't think of it of how hard it really is. We got 4 kids. We started out in high school, and all 4 have graduated. All 4 are able to be in society that we want them to represent themselves, without question. But social media really is hard to judge when they're 13, because their mind is wondering, especially for a dad like myself. I'm super busy, and don't get me wrong, I'm chasing the bag, to live the lifestyle we live.
Mm-hmm.
But every opportunity, this is what I hate about sometimes friends, when they don't even give you the opportunity because they think you're too busy. Let me tell you I'm too busy. Because if you know me, I try to squeeze everything that I can out of a day. There's 24 hours.
You're busy.
Bro, look at you're in your truck for the podcast. You putting forth the effort to even do this, bro, is dope. And I don't know what the audio is going to sound like in the end, and I hope that in the editor I can make it so it's all good. But you are, like I said this, you're the busiest person I know, and I look at all the shit you do.
Definition of multitask.
Not me. So I appreciate you being here for that, and yeah, man, So you say you may have chased the bag too much. Do you regret that at your point now? I know your kids have graduated and you're kind of past the meat of it.
I the only thing I regret, because obviously I was at every game and all the activities. I just regret. I mean, maybe we could have went fishing. Maybe we, you know, I mean, we do like, you know, cookouts and stuff. And I mean, you know, it's kind of funny because my kids actually do like to hang out with us. It's actually funny to say that in a good way because like we went to go chase the Northern Lights. My wife posted and Kylie calls. Where are you guys at? We want to come meet up. We go to Big John. So it's like I don't I wish I would have took a little more time with them, the one-on-ones and stuff. But like when they go out to a party and they know we're having a solo stove at home, they want to come home and hang out. Like they want to come up to the house. Like they're like,
I
you know,
pray that my children want to hang out with me down the road, bro. I really do.
Probably one of the best things as a parent of now adults is, you know, Friday night, my kids don't go out by themselves. You know, Dad, where you at? What are you doing?
yeah.
You're probably a little more willing to party than I am. Smoking a fire and drink, I'm not going really out.
No, and that's fine. But even if on Sundays, we all know, no matter what, whatever you have going on, I'm going to be at the house, or you know, I'm going to be with your brother. I'm going to be with your sister. You know, they all know. At some point on Sundays, we all get together. On Friday nights, we all get together. On Saturday nights, if we're going out, we're all getting together, and that's a beautiful thing that I love about.
Well, so back to the social media thing. My parents weren't ever. You guys weren't really ever strict on the social media thing.
I think social media was not
tested.
Yeah, I didn't know what social media was going to do. I didn't, you know, we just had social media at the same time your brothers did.
Yeah.
Like you obviously didn't get it until a few years later, so we didn't know. That was an untouched.
Yeah, we didn't
territory.
know what the potential repercussions of it. Now we know, we're a little more educated. The news, you know, they're telling us all the stories about, you know, teachers and, I mean,
yeah, teachers.
I wish we had some of those teachers when I was a kid.
Man, right here. I wasn't even trying to go there, bro. But what I was trying to say was that if it was happening back then, it wasn't, like Faith said earlier, talked about as much as it is now. Because now, man, teachers are getting. I ain't trying to get canceled.
See, I have to be honest. Like I tell people all the time. Like I hear these crazy stories. Like I mean, I've been a general manager. I'm a DJ. And it could be me. I don't care. I'm all right with this. I haven't had like all this stuff thrown at me. It isn't like I've had like, you know, workers that wanted to sleep with you and all that. Like, but I also don't put off that persona. Like I always look at, if I was a general manager, the girls, but I'm a girl dad. I mean, I got, you know, 3 daughters to start, and I got to think of how would I want my daughters looked at. And how would, you know, so when it comes to women and girls, I either look at them like a daughter or like a sister. And I don't know why. I can't do that aspect to think that there's a possibility of something I don't even want anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Have been my wife's boss at one point. But, you know, I wasn't exactly throwing off the I've never had a train of like ladies lined up for me either, so I get that. But I did definitely meet my wife at work. I was her boss. And yeah,
you did. You did.
I don't know that I took advantage of it. It was definitely a good time.
Let me tell you this much. I one time I'm DJing down at Senate's, and someone comes up to me, and I'm thinking they got a dollar bill in their hand to give me like a tip for a song. And my daughter is sitting next to me at a table with her boyfriend and a couple friends. And it's a girl gives a number. So I have it in my hand. I open it up. It's a napkin. Kylie goes, "What's that?" I go, "I don't know, but I ain't opening it." I told my wife before Kylie told my wife. How does that work?
You knew she was going to go tell your wife.
No, but the thing is she should have been the first one since she opened it up and knew what it was. And even my wife said it. How did your dad tell me before you did? And I didn't even tell my wife till I got home, obviously, because I don't need her coming up to sentence and trying to raise hell or getting pissed
Oh,
off at someone.
Katie will do that too.
She'll do
turn
that.
Yeah, you'll know she's there.
I had to do it for her the other day, not too long ago, because this dude, she's there with some of my work friends, and this random guy just comes and sits next to her because she was sitting by herself. And I said, okay, he'll say something. And then she even told him that's my husband, the DJ. And then he like continued to hang out, and I was like, okay, now he's got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not an asshole, but I could be an asshole sometimes.
You can see Kendall's on the mic and see this guy over here. Just
Kendall has been like that. Hats off, my brother. But you have been like that for so long with the wife. He don't care. There's been some places we've been together, and I've seen that man go straight nuts. That ain't happening. Time out. Party's over. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that, so I agree. I know where you're coming from.
My wife is a lot like Katie. She'll say some off the wall shit too. What's wrong?
No.
Yeah,
no.
She'll say some
Katie
shit.
Be serious?
She'll say some shit that'll make me want to leave.
Hey, Jenna be like, there's been some shit I've heard Jen saying. I'm like, and I look at Matt like, you let her get away with that shit, dog.
This shit is funny. Whatever. We ain't, I am here for a good time, not a long time.
Definitely. But back to the thing is like,
we were talking about that yesterday.
Yes, we were. We're here for a good time.
Tomorrow could be the day. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to live and love and have.
I hate thinking of that, but you know what I'm saying. Back on the subject. Hey, you got these bears, you got these men's, you got this generation. You know what I'm saying? Definitely glad that Faith's here to elaborate a little bit on that. Dub, you've got daughters just like I do, so to kind of know firsthand about these females and their perspective of it, that's amazing.
I've been on Facebook and seen some of these guys are, not all guys are that way. Like, I'm a good guy, and like, bro,
now you're reaching.
Why are you a pick me ass?
See?
Why you gotta pick me? I'm okay. Like I've seen whole arguments about this, and why can't you bro,
don't make it your whole personality.
We suck, bro. Like, maybe it speaks to what we should be doing as men to curb this thought process for the women. You know what I mean? We need to be raising the men that are
these women. They're
pieces of shit.
They've been seeing. I mean, a lot of women nowadays. Pretty independent, man.
Yeah, I know a couple ass clowns that be using social media to even talk on girls because they're the ass, but they try to put it all on the girl. And you're like, dude, do you feel better about yourself after doing that? Like, or they'll be like, I just can't find love. Well, there's a reason you can't find love. Have you ever looked in the mirror at what you're doing? Not anything about their looks, just how they treat people.
How they feel about themselves, it definitely reflects on how they treat others.
What marriage and stuff have.
But these females, they're also independent.
Everybody wants that marriage.
They can see that. I mean, and they can hear it. Faith just said it. They reach it. Obviously, she can see it. She knows. She knows the flags. You know what I'm saying? So. That's amazing at your age. You know that, you know what I'm saying? But that's something that there's a lot of females out there that don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And
it's hard lessons learned though. There's lessons learned for
yeah.
Well,
Steve, can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
You went through the divorce. How soon before, and of course your kids were starting to get older, but how soon before you just introduced them to possibly another female?
Probably sooner than I should have. No, it was definitely sooner than I should have.
A weekend after.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, but like serious, and then Faith, if you could go off of this, and I'll mute on my side so I can hear it. But like, as a kid, what was your thoughts? Because like, I've never been in the situation, obviously, but the way that I felt is just understanding kids' emotions and how they will get quicker attached to these adults. Than possibly the husband or wife.
Rob is going through this divorce right now. and I want, he could use this. What's Landon going through with Rob right now? Like, what was your perspective?
Well,
of
so
the
I'm a
divorce?
girl. I'm a daddy's girl.
Okay.
I've always been. I didn't like these women. Somebody who's around my dad and is not my mom at that point, what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Get away from my dad. Bye. But now it's just.
It's a battle I've been fighting for the last 10 years. She doesn't like any of them.
Well, and that's the thing, because I feel like they use you. That's it. But.
So she's looking out for you.
Yeah.
Which is.
But at the end of the day, you're a grown man. I can't stop
correct,
you.
Correct.
Oh, and he's gonna do some dumb shit. Like he hits.
He does. He does.
We all do. I am. Yeah.
I make mistakes.
Yeah. It's looking at him and learning from him. You know what I mean? Just instead of continuing the cycle.
But that was me. The boys didn't care. The boys weren't like that. So I mean, I can't speak on every kid.
A little bit, conversations that we'd have separately, obviously without you around, and not to not have you around.
Right. No, I get it.
So, yeah.
But that's just from what I saw. The boys didn't, Like with my
Didn't
mom,
seem
I
to
did
be
the same
so
thing with the
serious.
dudes. I'd scare them off. I'd start shit all the time, dude. You're not my dad.
Thanks, Kendall.
Well, I mean,
That's good stuff, though. That's good
Rob's
stuff.
just kind of getting into the battle, and Gage, when I split up with Chris, was so little, like he wasn't ever going to remember anything, So I haven't had that concern, and I know Rob is deep in that right now. And
You know what's crazy?
And
I'm
that's
sitting
a
here.
tough place to be. That's kids introducing kids to other people, kids having to wrap their head around that, and then you trying to make sure that you're doing the right thing as far as that goes. As far as are you introducing them to the right people? Are you that's all.
it is a big thing.
It is a big thing.
Well,
It's not to be taken lightly. But what it shouldn't be is you on the other side. It's really none of your business.
Well, and you should not be trashing the other parent.
Right. Not yep.
That's a
Even
big.
if
That's
they
a big
are
one.
For
That's
sure.
a big one.
I'm
Because kids can see that.
Yes.
They can see that.
I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I've said some things that I shouldn't have, and kids have to check you every once in a while. Hey, that's my mom. Oh, you know what?
And that's what I said, and they can see that. They can see that.
Right. So and you have to, and I think we've all. So not only we all have, and unfortunately, I don't mean to say this negatively, except for you, Kendall.
I was just gonna say, yeah, not Kendall, man. He got some.
Yeah, congrats on all that shit.
Definitely.
But we've all have a broken family.
Yes.
We all have came
Yes.
from a broken family.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
a cycle.
it is a cycle.
And,
It's
and
a
with
shit.
me, and I've been through it too. I've been through divorce. I was the one who actually preached for the divorce, and then kind of was like, "What? This is happening?" You know what I'm saying? But the ones who kept me on my toes is my girls. My son, he was all, and we had the conversations, but he was whatever, But the girls, oh yeah, the girls was having it. The girls to this day, right now, my girls, they will make sure who it is, who you go, where you going, who you with, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Yeah, and you know what? I can't complain.
No.
I can't complain.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing, I kind of smile every time, they do it because it's like, damn, you
And
know what I'm
they
saying? I did something right, you know what I'm saying?
They
You
can.
know, they can. Absolutely.
I got a couple small things I kind of wanted to revisit from last week. Talking to the children, letting them know our mistakes, so hopefully they can avoid them. Go
Can I say
ahead,
something?
talk to me.
Here's the thing. Okay, so I know you guys made mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're all
Yeah.
human. But at the same time, you have to let them make mistakes. And Dad's tried teaching me, like, don't do this and this. But at the same time, I can't learn from your mistakes. I have to learn from my own. I can avoid it. I can try to avoid it. But if, let's say, I get myself in a situation, I got to learn on my own.
Yeah, but the one thing that you have that a lot of people, and unfortunately don't have, is common sense. I've instilled common sense in you
Well, yeah.
to where you can, you know how to adapt to those situations, or I mean, you recognize those situations as red flags, as all that stuff. So I mean, you handle yourself a little better than probably most of the public.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I mean, us kids can't learn from your guys' mistakes
Right.
all the time.
Yeah, you're talking about kids in general.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, listen, I think Rich said the other day, do as I tell you, not as I do. Right? In a perfect world, that's what we want to do, but that's not the case.
Like Gage being 14, he's gotten into nothing compared to where I was by 14. Like absolutely nothing.
I mean, these kids don't even get a chance to get into what we had. There's cameras on these kids all the time.
I mean, bro, 13, 14, I was wheeling mom's car on the week, all week in the country roads and being an asshole.
We've all been doing stuff.
Bro,
that's our generation.
I feel blessed to be where he's at, but I also, he's quick to run into a fight with his friends, and let's assess the situation, because everybody be carrying guns and knives these days, and that's I don't like the world that we've lived, or we would move to, as far as people always got to shoot each other, or, you know what I mean? It's 15 on 1, and I'm afraid for him in that world, because it wasn't, I don't know, man.
Yes, it was.
I never got jumped like that. I mean, I had 1 or 2 people try to fight me, but I was cool with that. That was the only way.
Nobody's gonna fit. Nobody's gonna hit the 6'3", 300-pound kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're the guy they don't want to mess with.
Well, I felt like every time I went to the bar, I had some asshole trying to. Well, you was looking at me across the room, and I didn't even know you existed until you walked over here and talked to me, dude. Like, and I always figured that was
looking at the TV above your head.
Yeah, I always figured it was the big guy effect.
Right.
But I feel like talking to Gage and being like, look, dude, like, things were bad. Like, he obviously remembers being in the camper a little bit, but like, things can be worse.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell him these things, to give him the right mind frame, maybe when he has to make these decisions, to go, yeah, I could be sleeping in a car.
I think for that one, Matt, what I've used is we've done some charity stuff. I mean, we take up 4 truckloads up to the Pine Ridge Reservation. I've taken my kids to that. I've let them see some things on that side that show what it could have been, could be. And I think that kind of, I could say for my oldest 2, they got to do this trip that they had to help out a lot of people that were in need. So whether it is like going to the disaster place with your kids and having them help out and see what it could be, like if all of a sudden you lost everything, and I'm not saying, but those are some of those gut checks that I could tell you have helped develop my kids to understand the importance of what mom and dad do, and why we have to stay who we are and what we do. Whether it is going down to St. Francis and serving a day, just serving lunch one time, and just seeing these people come in. So I think showing them the style of people that, one, it's the way life can go. One wrong thing could turn your life to this situation. I don't know what their situation is, but they're also not, I'm not going to make a judgment on their situation, on how they got there. But what I have done, and I think for all of us, is we just didn't want to be the same that we grew up with. We didn't want to be the same person and my parents weren't terrible, but there was a lot that they could have changed and done better, that I hope that I have done better. You know what I'm saying? And whether it is moving from South Omaha to Papillion, people hated on that. Oh, you just think you're better. No, I wanted my kids to have a better education than I had, or that I felt I had, I guess. No disgrace to them. I just felt like, and it is proven in the way that they are now. They're at college and doing that stuff. I didn't want to do that when I got out. Of course, I was having kids, but
That
so
had a
just
lot
put
to
them
do with
around
your
some of the scenarios.
Something else I want to talk about. Your nobody cares about your feelings.
Huh. Huh.
I don't know that I wholeheartedly believe that, and I want to know what we got to do as people to try to change. I mean, I'm not saying you got to care about every feeling.
No, I'm not
But
saying.
I'm saying having some compassion for people's position in life before.
What I'm
it
saying
fuck
is
your
that,
feelings.
when I say fuck your feelings, I say that because nobody gives a shit. I mean,
Ultimately, everybody's going to do what's best for them.
for them,
Ultimately, yes.
nobody gives a shit. They, if you get cut out of a business opportunity, you're gonna get cut out. And do you think they're gonna give a shit that you feel that way? No, no. Do you when you go home and you talk to your wife, and do you think she's curious about how you feel? How do you feel about this situation? Do you think she really gives a shit? Do you think that she
I mean, and I understand your argument about, am I going to be the provider and all those things.
Correct.
Like, I understand. But, especially in my wife's position, she don't work. She stays at home and takes care of the kids. I don't show up everybody's fine.
Correct. So at the end of the day, you're going to say what? Yeah, babe, I'm tired. I feel like I work too much. I feel, I feel depressed. I just can't do this today. Do you think she gives a fuck about that?
I mean, no, she does because I try to give a shit when she does.
So you try.
You.
I mean, look. 5 years ago, I was so inside my own head and bullshit that I don't want to say I didn't care, but I couldn't hear her like I needed to.
Yeah, you were caught up in yourself.
Yeah, it was everything. I mean, everything was so dark to me. It didn't matter. But I mean, at this point, I'm trying to make a valid attempt to do everything I can to be the partner that she needs.
Yeah.
But it does take that effort. You know what I mean? And you gotta care, especially with a partner that you care about.
Well,
I understand, but once you start showing that, I mean, once I just I don't believe it.
You still can you get access to that meme I gave you sent you?
I don't know. Maybe.
It was somewhere along the lines to when we was talking about the women how they feel and the men. You know what I'm saying? You was like you gave it a thumbs up and stuff because it was basically exactly what we were talking about. It's like
that woman that woman expects you to provide and protect, and she doesn't give a shit about your feelings in the middle of it. Ultimately, I feel like most women don't.
It was something along the lines about a woman's feelings and a man's. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, it's like.
Kendall, you got to chime in on this, man. You're the only one.
Bro.
You're the only one that's
made it work, dog.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
you got years.
I mean, that's just how I feel. That's the position I've been in.
I'm on my second marriage now, so
All right, so on this subject, I mean, well, because I do it all the time. Like, sometimes it feels like no matter how hard we work or whatever we do, it isn't enough because if it isn't pleasing the moment that they're looking for, then it ain't good enough. And I say that because I'll just take last week, for example. Like, I'm running 2 trucks. I think I got home at 9:30. She wasn't feeling well, but she needed me there and I couldn't be there. So like, is it one of those where it's all her fault? No, but I'm a business owner. So sometimes I can't just stop everything I'm doing and make it right. I wish I could. I need to do better, but there's times that I can't, like I'm on borrowed time when it comes to some things, but also I can feel her pain or understanding, but then it's like, you get this weird feeling of where you're wondering if they feel like you're ignoring them on purpose, but you're like, I'm out here just trying to bust my ass so we can live the way that we live.
Correct. But do you think that you know, if you went to her and you said, "Babe, I'm, you know, I feel this certain way. I feel like I can't do this today. I feel like I can't do. I feel like I have to take a break, and that's going to affect our the way I provide and the way that we live." What do you think your wife says in that situation?
I don't care.
Just
I
right.
need you. I need you right now. Fuck it. But yeah, I kind of feel some way. I mean, I don't think it's always fuck your feelings, but I think sometimes there are those moments where that's the way it feels, you know, or fuck the understanding of like, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. You think I want to be out
Does
here till
she,
this time? You
yeah.
damn.
Does she? But do you feel like do you if okay, you moved out of Salto, you moved out to Papillion, you're living good, you're doing well. All of a sudden, you feel like you've been working too hard. You feel like that you need a mental fucking break. And do you feel like, babe, we're gonna have to move back down to Salto? We gotta. I need a break.
Like she's gonna chastise him or support
Yeah, I
him.
mean, how do you feel? How do you feel like in that situation? If you can't provide the same way that you do right now, do you think she gives a shit? Do you think she gives a shit? Ultimately, at the end, like, and I mean, not in the end, not at the moment. She'll say, "I love you," and this and that, but at the end, if you can't provide the lifestyle that you guys live, or the lifestyles to her expectations, do you think she cares?
Uh,
Well,
Yeah.
mine lived in a camper with me.
Come on, Kane.
I'm not saying
Come
this.
on, Dad.
Hey, listen, I'm not talking about yours living in a camper.
I see what you're
but
saying.
All I'm
Like,
saying is that all of a sudden, if you can't provide, where are you at? And I'm not saying there aren't the women out there that are going to. There are the women. There are some women out there, but they're if you are not making a fucking comeback real quick,
but hold on.
are they going to
But
give
then
a shit?
I love this question that he got for Dub because for the simple fact, yes, you going to how long, Kendall, again?
25.
25.
All right, a quarter. So check it out. So basically,
Hey, and I don't mean to put your relationship.
no. This is a matter of opinion.
Right.
No right, no wrong. Mrs. Dub, don't take him the wrong way.
Please don't.
You know what I'm saying? But in perspective,
just because what we've been through, I
need a break. How is she gonna feel about that? Is she gonna eventually start nagging or getting your ass or just not supporting you?
I mean, but see, you can't always look at that as a bad thing. I mean, sometimes you need those people in your corner to keep you wanting the drive to do what you do. I mean, the reason I do what I do is because of her and the kids. I mean, that's a big key. I mean, besides none of my stuff I consider a job, but they're my number one reason why I do what I do. If I didn't have them, I could tell you I wouldn't be busting my ass as long as I do. I mean, I would find a good job, pay.
So what Steve was saying, like, even if it's a negative motive, so you saying like a positive motivation, that's what keeps you going. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what motivates you, right?
But here's the thing. Your kids are all grown now. I believe you have. Do you have the three in college, or one of them done? Yeah,
one's done. One's done. The second one is working. She just got a counseling thing. She done, but the third one's in college, and then now the fourth one's going.
So life is, I would say life is going to get easier, but that's not true.
Because for me and my wife, we never really officially like fully dated. I mean, we were 15 and 16. Like, my wife's hobby, and this is what's hard for my wife, and she says it, extremely now. She's realizing her hobby has been the kids for the past 25 years. I have things like the podcasts and I'm out doing sports and stuff, and that's my thing, or I DJ. But those aren't just hobbies; those are also some source of income on some things, right? But I don't consider them jobs, But for her, she thinks it's hobby.
Okay.
And so now she's got it. She's really stressing because she's like, it feels like I gotta find myself. And I've always wanted her to do something, but it's always been wrapped around the kids. But also for me and her, we have to physically like put in more effort. I think once you lose your regular schedule and your regular things that you do all the time, you have to find ways to get adjusted. Like,
back to my original question. I don't want to put you on blast. I'm not trying to. I know you're trying to avoid it. What do you think, man? Am I? How about I ask this to everybody? How about I ask this to everybody? Is if you go home and you say, you tell them how you feel, and this is what it is.
I can go spend the night in the check out if I have to. She will accommodate that. It's same as I try to do for her if I can when I get home. Hey, I got the kid. The baby makes things tough, and then the 6 and 7 year old are
like we're pitter-pattering around the question.
So I will get right into the question. Let me tell you, I just don't think, Steve, if I could speak on myself, I don't think you found someone strong enough to be that ride or die for you. And that's why you could feel that way, because you haven't felt like someone that has had your back in that feeling. Like, I know that we're not perfect. We're far from that. But I know if shit came to shit, my wife has my back to the fullest, because if not, we would not have made it 25 years. But so many relationships still fall short at this time because life changes. Our life is going to change with our son, and it's kind of like I told my wife. She goes, I really want to do this. I said, let's book it. We don't have to worry about school. We don't have to worry about an event we're going to miss. Nothing. If I don't have a DJ event, book it and let's go. But life changes. And I think the attitude of that thought of fuck it sometimes comes from the environment that you are around where you haven't really felt. I think you've had a longer relationship with a close friend that's a girl than you have to feel in that someone has your back to that point.
All right, so check this out. Kendall.
I got you.
So what Steve's just saying is basically this. Despite all of those things, I'm talking about the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, all of that. What he's just saying is your woman going to stand there and be 110 times supportive if you cannot provide ends meet, or is she going to start eventually? Because there's going to be, like you said, life changes. There's going to be eventually a time where she's going to be like, hold on, man, what the hell are you going to do? Are you going to bring anything in this house?
I spent 2 years.
You see what I'm saying?
Head up my ass.
Well, that's what you asking, right, Steve?
Shit, her paycheck was crushing mine. It was not pretty, and she I mean, look, she had to. Everybody, you got to have somebody going, look, are you going to get your shit together like that? Because you're going to do that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got my shit
together.
Well,
and that's where you got to know that I've already went through that, because that's what starting up a business is about. Like when you start up what I'm doing, man, I mean, money's not coming hand over fist.
Right.
And I've already been to some of the lows where I'm like feeling like I'm not bringing enough.
Single guy, this is just my perspective. I provide. I provide for myself. I have more than enough for myself. I haven't needed a woman in over the last 10 years.
And it worked for you.
And it worked for me. And I just feel like I don't know. I didn't have to answer to anybody. I'm so glad that you guys made your marriage work for the last 25 years. I love that, and I love your wife. I just my perspective is different. I just feel like
they're gonna
feel like
find the alternative.
But even my kids, my sons, bro, nobody gives a shit. Nobody in life, and I think everybody can relate to this. Nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't get this opportunity because I feel like he didn't like me, or I feel like, bro, nobody gives a fuck. Go out and make it happen.
Well, I mean, if I don't get an opportunity, it's because I suck. I don't feel like
I'm saying like, because the other person didn't give you the opportunity. Maybe.
Well, I'm saying we go out to dinner.
So your low self-esteem has been lowered because you're going over someone else's judgment of you.
I'm just saying that a lot of people in this world they get caught up in poor me.
Yeah.
Why this? Nobody gives a fuck.
That's true.
And I clearly,
the majority.
I'm so sorry. There's things that I'll do for you guys that I probably wouldn't do for a lot of people.
But don't be.
But at the end, But at the end of it, I know that I got a few solid people. But I also know that nobody else gives a fuck.
I'm with you on that part. On the woe is me people are people that I can't be around. It's different if you've tried something to change that, but if you haven't tried nothing to change that and you're still woe is me about that situation, then I can't be around you. I mean, that's where I am on the fuck your feelings. Is if you haven't tried shit to change, but you're going to continue to complain about the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I think. Yeah, fuck your feelings.
But you do care because if they are trying, you're more likely to.
Bro, until you succeed, you can try. Until you succeed, it's going to be fuck your feelings until you finally get there. And then still,
I was going to say, hold on, time out, bro.
Even after that.
It's still going to be after that.
Even after that.
Because somebody's always going to have an opinion of something, of whatever's getting done.
But see, I also don't care about the opinion.
Yeah, well, you obviously, everything you got going on and all this, you don't give a fuck if we make it or not, right? You don't give a fuck if this turns into something. I mean, you want it to turn into something, but you love. I mean, you're doing this. You love this.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else's feelings.
Yeah.
That's the slick. Hey, that was slick how you threw that there like that. Because hey, I get what you. Yeah, that was slick how you did that, bro. I liked it.
I don't think. It's not in stone.
What did we talk about earlier? You had what you say. This is like therapy for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's actually therapy for all of us.
Helping me learn a little bit.
Bro, it is a little bit of a therapy. Getting out here.
So fuck feelings. Because at the end of the day, if it swings left, it swings right. You know what? Fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings.
I'm here to give insight. I'm not here to tell you how I feel.
That was still slick. That was slick how you threw that. You winged that like that. That was slick.
You guys want a hug now?
See, hey, come on. Hey, right now, that's just saying that we coming to the end of our segment, but you know what I'm saying? Things get kind of weird and shit.
Kindle must have fallen out. But we are at an hour and 8 minutes. We have definitely burned through our time. But we'll talk some more next week. Get at us on the YouTube or the Facebook. Let us know how we're doing. If you got something you want us to talk about, hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube videos. Share them to your friends.
You can also share with Faith.
Yes,
Faith is the one overseeing all of our social media. So go ahead, you can contact her, DM her. She will get you in the right direction.
We have made some steps on picking up the video quality and the sound quality. Let us know how we're doing there.
We also got business cards.
Yeah, we got some.
I got some in my hand. I've been kind of, fiddling with. Here we go, so y'all can see.
You got it?
But yeah, we'll.
Oh shit! Can't get this fucking thing in there.
Yeah, we'll talk some more next week, and we actually I got Albert from NN and Johnny from Elevated Heights coming in, and we're gonna talk about some fighting and.
Cool. So we're gonna have a full room next week.
Well, we're gonna do this Saturday.
I ain't working.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes.
So.
But yeah, Saturday afternoon we're gonna shoot that right before Gage's graduation. And
ooh.
So yeah, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the conversation, guys, and hopefully somebody out there picks something up. But like and share, thumbs up everywhere, and subscribe. Let us know about the production.
Hit the like button.
If there's anything we need to see. And
Lotshead Productions.
If you don't like the video, still hit the like button.
We need all the support we can get. Trust me, we're trying to reach you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next week, man. Everybody, enjoy your week. Oh, I fat fingered it.